Yeah, that's great.
Okay. So I'm going to jump in. We'll try to keep this to an hour pretty strictly so that it's not taking up too much time in the middle of the day for you guys. So I am going to always have a different topic every time we meet. And I kind of just always like to feel out what I'm really feeling like something that's going to benefit a lot of people. So I decided to talk about self-belief today because it is really the backbone of us being able to accomplish and go after anything that we want to do in our lives. Corinna, you're an entrepreneur. Are you the one that does the balloon arches?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. You were next to me. Yes. Okay. So, anytime, especially when you're going after any goals, especially entrepreneurship, right? You have to really have a lot of belief in yourself and a lot of belief in general. And I'm going to kind of go through some different categories of belief that we want to have and explore those. And then I'm going to really drill into self-belief because I really believe that is the most powerful and important modes of belief that we have that drive us forward and help us to accomplish our goals. So I decided to pick a quote for this. And the quote that I chose is, "Never forget how wildly capable you are." And that really sums up this talk in one phrase, because if we forget our capability and we forget what we can do and who we are and the abilities we have inside of ourselves to pull from to accomplish things, those are the moments where we will find ourselves waning in our progress towards our goals. We will find ourselves hesitating to take on new goals, right? And to go all in on ourselves and bet on ourselves, right? And so we have to remember how capable we are. And that's really what I want to talk about here. And I'm actually going to give you some tools to be able to do that more. Okay. Because anytime we go after goals, we have days that are great. And then we have days that we feel like crap, right? Like everybody has those. Life is 50-50. Humanity is up and down sometimes, right? And so we want to have tools that we can lean on those days when we're not feeling super like, woo, let's do this, that we can lean on and pull from and help us to kind of like create that belief that fuels us forward on those rough days, right? Okay, so the biggest thing that keeps people going forward in their lives, like I said, is belief. And we need different kinds of belief in the mix to help us to really get to where we want to be. So I'm going to list these and then I'll go and explore each of them individually. So the first one is belief in like the universe or God or whatever it is that you believe in, like belief that something bigger than you has your back and is supporting you, right? That things will work out for you. I love like just the idea that like things work out for our good, because I really believe that. And I think the more that we can lean into that trust, that bigger trust, the more peace we'll have in the process. Okay. Then we have the belief that anything is possible. And this, I talk a lot about belief plans in my coaching. And if you guys ever decide to do my group coaching program, my new group coaching, I don't know if Corinna, if you heard about it, if you've been on my Facebook, if you've seen my post, I have a new group coaching program that's launching this month, mid-June. And one of the modules that's going to come in that group coaching is going to be about creating a belief plan and how to practice it and use it to create belief and use it to create things in your life. And in your business and just any area. So, but really the backbone belief that I have that it always start within any belief plan is the belief that anything is possible, because you have to start there. You have to create baseline belief. And I'll explain that when I get to that point. Another belief that we have to have is belief in others that play a part in our success. So if that's teachers or a doctor or a coach, like you have to have belief in them or else you're going to hesitate and not be willing to go all in on that process, right? So it's important to like really choose wisely who you partner up with. Another thing that we need to believe in is our tools and resources that we're going to use in our journey, right? So like literally the processes or the textbooks, things like that, right? Okay. And then last is belief in yourself. And like I said, that's going to be the one I'm going to focus on. So I'll get to that in a few minutes. So let's dive into kind of belief in like God or the universe or whatever it is that you believe in. Okay. So this, like I said, is really believing that you have somebody, like something bigger than you that's like backing you up and on your side. So if you believe in God, this is like believing that like God wants your best. He favors you. He's going to like bless anything that you do. Right. I don't really believe it's any different than believing in like the universe also blessing you and supporting you, I think is really all the same thing. If you can pull from the same place with that, but like, it's really the belief that like, whether it's the belief that you have the power to like focus on things and create them and manifest them, like it's really the same thing as prayer, right? It's our ability to just really believe that when we wholeheartedly believe in something and we desire it and we focus on it and visualize it and pray for it or whatever, whether that's praying and asking or practicing beliefs to manifest, that like we have that support from God in the universe to really like create what we're wanting, right? That we are supported and backed up in our desires, right? And I think that's so important because it allows us to feel in moments where we feel like we're struggling, to feel like we almost have like a cushion to fall back on, right? Like a soft place to land. Like I can have a rough day. I can have a day where I don't feel super like high vibe, if you will. And I can still know that like I'm supported, right? And blessed. All right. All right. So it's really the belief that the universe and God wants you to succeed. And they're like orchestrating things on your behalf, orchestrating success, lining up meetings with people that you need to have, right? Like lining up resources to land your way, lining up money you need to land your way, like all of the above. Okay. And like I said, it's the belief that all things work out for your good. And I love that. Like you guys can really take away, like I highly recommend that as we're talking through this, you take away some of the beliefs that I practice that I'm giving you, because these will be great beliefs to start implementing right away for you to just practice on a daily basis. Just say them to yourselves and really feel them as you're saying them, right? So the belief that anything is possible, like I said, is my number one, my go-to. The belief that all things work out for your good is another one, right? Those are two. I'm kind of giving you guys sneak peeks into my belief plan as we're talking through this. And those are two of my go-tos. All right. Okay. So next is the belief that anything is possible. Okay. That number 3, that's my third major belief that I go to, the belief that anything is possible. So did I say that already? What were the 2 beliefs I gave you?
I think it was anything is possible. And then that like you're supported.
Right. Okay. So I already said that. Okay. So yeah. So I'm going to dig into more that the anything is possible belief. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is truly knowing that like anything that you make efforts to achieving, any goal that you take on, right? Like anything that you do could succeed. And it's truly just sitting down and finding reasons to believe that anything is possible. Like truly, like anything could happen, right? If we can really dig into the truth of that, it opens your brain up to a space of being able to believe anything for yourself. So like in any area where we kind of doubt ourselves or we worry that things won't work out for us, we doubt that like something that we're doing could work or succeed, or people could buy our balloon arches, right? Or like a supplier could come through for us, right? Mom, that you could get more clients, right? Anytime we sit and doubt those things, if we come back to just the core truth that literally anything is possible, somebody could reach out to you today for a party. Somebody could reach out to you today for help with, Lacey does elder care. So anybody could reach out to her today for, help with a parent or whatever, right? Yeah. Like the truth is anything truly is possible. How do we know that's true? Give me an example that anything is possible, like just something crazy that's happened in the world.
Well, just like yesterday, I got that kind of a random call from a couple that wanted me to help with his wife, and and through Donna Boswell, who's a friend of mine, who's a counselor or psychologist. And it was kind of hilarious because normally I charge like $25 an hour, but she told them I charge $50 an hour. And so when the guy told me, he goes, now Donna said she charged $50 an hour, I actually laughed. And I said, oh, John is so generous. But he goes, well, if that's not enough, I can pay you 75. I'm like, no, 50's plenty. Like, wow, that just like rained down right out of the sky.
And so, I would like to add, this is after we had done a bunch of work with her in coaching about money.
Right.
And because it's the same thing in coaching, we help your brain to be able to create belief in certain areas. So we kind of just dial in on very specific areas, right? So we were working on money beliefs. And immediately after that, you had a massive amount of income come in through one source. And then right after that, this happened, right? So it's like money just kind of starts toppling. And I have that happen a lot with clients when we work around money specifically. It's amazing.
And I think you're right. I think it started right after I started getting my Social Security, which another rain down from heaven, because I'm not Social Security, but long story there. But anyway, but I got it, and it was a large amount of money, and it was kind of like that opened up, like this opened something up to wow, like
it's the belief snowball. Right. Yeah. So what happens is you create some belief and that creates something, right? The belief always, our thoughts create our results, right? That's the backbone of my coaching. Our thoughts create our results. So that's why I'm a mindset and life coach, because we start with the thoughts that create feelings, and then cause you to take certain actions that then give you results, right? So we created the belief. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, but we did have to do some work to get the Social Security to come in.
Right.
Because it was like, it was like 6 months that I should have gotten it, and it wasn't coming in. So after we did those models on that, then it came in, and then the other jobs have come in, and now I feel like I don't know, anything's possible.
Yeah. Right. So we start with the core belief that creates a little bit of breakthrough and momentum. And then what happens is with money, especially, the more you have coming in, the more secure you feel around it and the less fearful. So then it opens you up to more coming in, right? More belief, the belief can grow essentially. And it starts creating a container for more belief and then more results. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So all that to say, we're back to this idea that anything is possible. That's true. Like, who would have imagined that you had that money that came through? You never even knew. Here's the crazy thing about that. This is a great example. You had no idea that you were eligible for that money.
Zero.
No idea. I mean, it was like not even in your sphere. And it was just the random circumstances that you found out about it and that it showed up. Yeah. You needed some security in your finances, and you just trusted that it was going to show up, and it showed up. Right. Yep. And it showed up after we did some work around your money beliefs that allowed you to kind of open up to even thinking about looking into that. And when you did, it showed up. Right. And so that truly, like, the belief that anything is possible is it's just so true, because again, you had no idea. We all, like, what if we all had money and opportunities that were just sitting and wait for us, that if we just chose to believe that they were there, like we would open ourselves up to go and look for them. And then they would also just show up for us, because that's really the truth. Wow. Right.
It's true. And, I've seen that happen in my life a couple of other random times. Oh, sorry, my phone, I keep getting text. But anyway, it's kind of like sometimes I've gotten money and I've kind of like not been super responsible with it. And then I would use it up and then it would disappear. And then all of a sudden I'd get more money. And I start to see now, wow, this isn't going to end. Like I just got more money. Yeah. And now I'm going to get more money. I don't know what, but I mean, it's coming, know?
Well, and a big part of it is the work we do around number one, your ability to trust yourself with money, right? So that you aren't afraid of letting yourself have more. A lot of times we block ourselves from having money because we don't trust ourselves with it. And the second we get our trust lined up, it'll start showing up. Right. But then it also allows us to trust that money will keep showing up. Right. If we can trust ourselves with it, we can trust it to keep coming. Right. Because we work on these core beliefs that affect every area of life. They touch everything. So once we learn how to trust one thing, we can trust everything. Right. It's like that trust and the security and the belief that just keeps replicating. It really is like a snowball. Just keep
and I think for me, it was the fear that disappeared after all the models that we did.
Right. Well, of course, that's why I always say the number one thing that happens with coaching is like you just feel better. Like that's just the most immediate effect, is you just feel better. And then comes the results, right? Then comes the money showing up, the clients showing up, you're losing the weight, whatever it is, right? Like, it's like it's a layered effect. Okay, so back to this belief that anything is possible. Truly, anything really is possible. I mean, if we just sat down and thought about that for a minute, like I mean, good and bad, anything's possible, but we're focusing on the good, obviously. Like, I mean, you could win the lottery today, right? Like, it's possible. It's possible for anybody. Publishers Clearinghouse could show up, right? It's possible for a client to walk up to your door. Like, really, truly, anything's possible. So the more that we can think about that and give our brains evidence to that, to support that, the more that it's going to grow our belief in ourselves and anything we're doing. Because really, truly, anything's possible within our own success and our own results too, right? That, again, that is where I start with anytime I practice my beliefs, I start there. It's like the foundation of belief. It allows you to build on it with anything else, right? Because if I can believe anything's possible, then I can get my brain to, well, like, it's possible for me to, I don't know, buy a house, right? Or it's possible for me to lose 5 pounds, right? You can really take that anywhere. It's like the launching point for belief. Okay. Let's see here. So, all right, I'm going to move on to the next one, which is belief in others who play a part in our success, right? So like I said, it's really important for us to partner with people who we are able to believe in, right? Who, number one, have belief in themselves, because it's hard for us to believe in other people if they don't have belief in ourselves, and vice versa, right? But then also, if we believe in them, we're going to be more likely to buy in and like really show up and invest ourselves into whatever we're doing with them, right? So I like to think of it think of a doctor, right? If you don't believe in your doctor, you're not going to show up and you're not going to be as apt to like take their advice, to follow through on maybe tests they want you to take, or like, just anything, right? If you don't believe in your doctor, you're not going to be like showing up to the doctor for regular visits and checkups and testing whatever they suggest. And you're not going to get the same experience out of it, right? You're not going to get the same benefits. Same thing with coaching, right? If my clients don't believe in me as a coach, they're probably not going to show up for coaching and be super invested in their coaching experience and not get the same value out of it. On the flip side, if they do, they're going to show up every time for every session and be super invested, super present, really focused, and like doing the work on their own end, like the thought work and stuff, to be able to get the results, right? So just the importance of really partnering with people that we believe in, right, as a part of our journey. All right. So let's move on to belief in the tools and resources that we use. So I use the doctor example because this is kind of where we can create a clear distinction between the two. Belief in the people we partner with is like the doctor. Belief in the tools and resources would be believing in the doctor's tools and methods, right? So think of it like a doctor maybe believing in a holistic doctor or maybe a naturopathic doctor versus like a traditional doctor, right? You have to have belief in one modality or the other to really buy in and like totally invest in that process, to totally show up and be really willing to do anything you need to do outside of your doctor's appointments, and like take every tool very seriously and take the test results seriously, all that kind of stuff, right? So you need to have belief in the person, but also like the tools that they use. Same thing with my clients. They have to believe in me, but they also have to be willing to believe in my tools, right? And I use a tool called the model, right? And I use a lot of like evidence-based brain rewiring techniques, but my clients have to show up and be like, believe in the fact that I have tools that really work, right? Same thing. I always like to use like weight loss as an example. So same thing with Weight Watchers. Like people have to be willing to like believe in the Weight Watchers point system, that it works for people, that it gets results, that kind of thing. Right. So it's really important that we pick tools and resources along our journeys that really like align with us, that feel really good, and that really help us get where we want to be. And that very much like, align with who we are and how we function. Like we need tools that, depending on the situation, tools that really like jive with us, that we know we're going to be able to like carry out and use, and that like work with how our brain is and work with our schedule and that kind of stuff. Right. Okay. And ultimately your belief in your resources will cause you, the reason you want to have resources you really believe in is that your resources cause you to show up and like really invest and like use them, right? You use those tools and do what you need to do. So let's talk about the belief in yourself, which I said, is the most important factor. And that's really like, if you have this, it's so much easier to have all the other kinds of belief if you believe in yourself, right? So Like I said, most important kind of belief is self-belief. It really is the thing that determines your success, and what you bring to the table. When you believe in yourself, it means you really know that you have your own back. And that's the other belief that I wanted to give you to practice is I have my own back. What that means is you will do anything it takes to succeed. It means that you will keep trying stuff, even if it means you keep trying and failing until you try that one thing that works. It means you won't stop trying till you find that thing that works for you, right? And then you'll keep tweaking and trying other things and trying new things, right? It means that you are just willing to 100% bet on yourself and go all in on yourself and trust that you are going to do whatever you need to do to make that thing work. Right. And this is something that I talk a lot about with people when I'm thinking about doing coaching with me, because the truth is that you're going to have as much success in anything that you like jump into as you decide to have, because your success, really a lot of it depends on how you show up and how much you put into the thing, how much you decide to make it work for you. Right. Now, with my one-on-one coaching, I do a lot with you, like in sessions. So that's not like I determine a lot of it there, but also the degree to which you are present in those sessions, the degree to which you're focused, the degree to which you are willing to self-examine, right? And be willing to like look into things and take responsibility for things and being willing to like dig deep into yourself. I can't do that for people, right? That's their element of self-belief in their ability to get what they came for, right? Same thing with my group coaching. Like if you show up for that, you have to have the self-belief of knowing that you're going to do the work in our live meetups, and then also in outside of those things, right? With the homework or like the modules and stuff that you get. Like our success very much is determined by how much we show up. School, we were just talking about college, right? Your success in college, in any kind of schooling, is very much determined by your belief in yourself to show up and do the work, right? Your belief in yourself to have your own back and to follow through and get what you came for out of that thing, right? Starting a business, anything you do in a business, it's your belief in yourself that I'm going to like put this out here and I won't stop until I have people, the clients that I'm serving and customers that are paying me, that I'm showing up and giving them awesome results. And I'm going to keep, if my balloons keep popping or not keeping their air, I'm imagining the problems you might have, I'm going to find a supplier with more quality balloons that work for me, right? Like it's your belief that like if the day of your event, like your tank of air broke, I have a backup, right? Like I'm going to make sure I have backups and I'm going to make sure I don't fail. It's truly like creating belief in yourself and knowing that you will do anything it takes to create your success, right? It's knowing that you have backup plans. It's knowing that you will figure it out if things go wrong. I like to say all the time that entrepreneurship is nothing but just like problem solving all the time, right? It's nothing but just deciding to do something and just figuring it out, right? I mean, it really is. Like you have to just think on your feet a lot. And truly like having that really comes from belief in yourself. Belief that if you jump in and say you're going to do something, you're going to figure out how to do it. Right? Belief that if you decide to start a balloon business, like you're going to figure out how to make that work. Yeah. Figure out how to find a payment portal, figure out how to get a good supplier, figure out how to build and actually like construct them. Right? Mm-hmm. All of the above. Right? And that all really comes down to self-belief and that belief that I have my own back no matter what. The more that we can create evidence for ourselves that is true, the more that we can dig into ways that we have created belief or that we have had our own back, the more we will believe in ourselves and the more willing we will be to bet on ourselves and take bigger risks with bigger rewards in any area of life. Same thing with weight loss, right? I have my own back. I'm going to do whatever it takes. If I have to try 10 different diets or I don't like the word diet. If I have to try 10 different, styles of eating, I don't know what else to call it. Right. But it's like, I will keep going until I figure out what my thing is. If I have to keep trying different beliefs that fuel my ability for my body to let go of weight, I'll keep going until I do that. Okay. All right. Let's see here. My allergies. Sorry, I keep clearing my. Okay. Let's see. I said a lot of this. Let me skim through my notes. So really, like I said, this truly, like this belief in yourself and that you have your own back is really the key to starting something and not quitting. Anytime that we find ourselves starting a lot of stuff and then we'll kind of get real gung ho and excited and then we'll kind of lose our oomph and sort of just fizzle out, it's because we're really lacking belief in ourselves. And truly, if I were to go back and like say a backbone of my coaching, it really is self-belief, because everything I do comes back to core beliefs. Like I actually identify core beliefs with my clients in coaching, and we will actually disprove lies or negative beliefs you have about yourself. And then we will create beliefs that are actually true about you, that like fuel you forward, that give you confidence, help you to value yourself and what you do, and really truly believe in yourself. Like that is the like epitome of what I'm about as a coach. And that's why my clients have such huge results, because again, if you have the self-belief, you won't stop at nothing. You will always be successful in whatever you take on, right? It's really the key to resiliency, right? It's the key to like having the bad, awful days and getting yourself back up with like mustering up every ounce of motivation and keeping on going, right? It's the key to having a rough day and feeling just in the dumps and losing a client, or, you know, having a sale fall through, and then you pull yourself up and keep going the next day, right? It comes down to that belief of knowing like, I'm not going to let myself fail, right? All right. So like I said, the self-belief really is like the backbone to being able to have belief in all the other things that I listed. Because have you guys ever heard that saying, like, God won't help those that, what is that? Help themselves. He helps those that help themselves, right? It's funny because a lot of times we even struggle to believe in like God supporting us or the universe supporting us. If we know we're not doing the work, we kind of subconsciously know, well, like, why would God or the universe be coming along and helping me if I'm not even doing it, right? It's funny how it's even can be hard to believe in something bigger than us if we're not believing in ourselves first, right? If we don't believe in ourselves to follow through with any tool, we're not going to take on any resources or tools. We're not going to jump into a program. We're not going to jump into coaching or Weight Watchers or school, right? Same thing with belief in the people that are helping us, right? Our doctor, our coach, our Weight Watchers support system, right? We're not going to believe them if we don't believe in ourselves to listen to them, to hear them, to follow through on what they say, right? Every kind of belief that you have really comes from belief in yourself first. Like you have to have that foundationally. Then it gets really easy to trust other people. It gets really easy to trust the process, to trust the resources that we have, to trust the people that are helping us, and to really believe in anything else, to trust God, trust the universe, right? It gets really easy when we know that we're doing this stuff. We are great at catching ourselves when we're being hypocrites, right? We know subconsciously when we are saying we believe, but then we're not really doing the work. If we're showing up and doing the work, we believe in ourselves. That's always going to be number one evidence that you have that self-belief, that you're following through with action, right? So we know when we're not doing that, and we will kind of like block ourselves from believing anything else when we know we're not doing that. So the second we believe in ourselves, we create like the emotions of excitement and belief and faith and hope and all those things. And then we go and take action on it. It will open us up to believe in anything else we need to believe in. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to turn this. I'm going to turn this over to you guys, and I'm going to let you implement a couple of questions that will help you to create some self-belief for you today. So get out. It looks like you guys both have paper that you're writing on. So good for you. I'm proud of you for showing up, ready to take notes. Okay. I want you guys to make a list, okay, of times that you've believed in yourself and really succeeded, that you took something on, took a big leap, right? Decided to jump into something and really believed in yourself, and you really succeeded. You followed through and you succeeded in that thing. Make a list. Try to go for like at least 10 things if you can. And this can be big or small. This can be jumping into school. This could be like trying to lose 5 pounds. Like it could be big or small. Okay, you guys got a good list?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want you to write down, excuse me. I want you to write down a list of the characteristics you have. Like, what is it about you that caused you to succeed in those things? And also, what tools and resources did you have? So the characteristics is going to be like, I am, I'm really consistent, or I'm really like, I was determined or whatever. And then the tools and resources are going to be like, did you use like a school, for example, your tool and resource is literally the school format, right? With weight loss, maybe you got into Weight Watchers or use a personal trainer. Like it's going to be the tools and resources that you use to get you there. So I want you to write a list of like what it is about you that helped you to get there, and then what you used like tool wise and resource wise to help you. Tell me, if you guys don't mind sharing, give me like a couple of your examples of things that you succeeded in, and then the things that you wrote as like the characteristics about you and the resources that you had that helped you to succeed.
Okay. I picked, well, one of my things that I picked was becoming a reflexologist. That I sought out someone to train me, and I got that training, and I have, with the reflexology and all the detoxing stuff, I've done tons of research on detoxing, a lot through, Anthony William and his protocol, and lots of other research in detoxing. And so it was just by my research that I learned as much as I know.
Yeah. So good example. You believed in yourself. You went and found help. And I know that situation. I know who you had teach you. You really trusted them. Right. And so you believed in that person. And then you went and got training from them, and you believed in reflexology. You believed in her skill set. And then you also believed in like Anthony Williams and all of that stuff too. But then you also believed in like your ability to research and kind of self-teach. Right. So it's that whole like coexisting mixture of self-belief, but then which allowed you to then act on that, go find help, do the research, find the resources, find the help, and find something that like resonated with you that worked for you. Right.
Right. That I really loved. I believed in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like what you were talking about before about the doctors. I had to believe in it. And I have watched a lot of stuff, and I've listened to a lot of stuff, but I couldn't say that I completely bought into it. But this I really, really believe.
Right. Yeah. And because of that, you took action to do the research and then follow through with all of that stuff and do so much self-learning and all of that. And because of that, you keep following through. You keep implementing detoxing on yourself. And like, you do that stuff all the time. I know you're constantly doing some form of detoxing, right?
Everybody, they should.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Karina, tell me about something you wrote down.
So something that I wrote down was like believing that I could put together like a styled shoot to get photos for like to launch my business and like the website. And so characteristics of like doing this was like I believed I had like the coordination and the creativity to do this. And then I researched vendors, and that was like tools and reaching out to contacts that were over the venue and photographers, and then getting the supplies, and those were things that I used to then like put it all together and get the photos that I needed. So
absolutely. So with both of you guys, I want you to hear that you have a lot of self-beliefs, and then also like your resourcefulness that played into your success, right? Creativity, resourcefulness, problem solving skills, research skills, belief in yourself and others. That's obviously a given, right? We could list on and on from all of these things, right? In the self-beliefs and the characteristics that you have that created your success, right? And then we have the fact that you guys sought very specific tools and resources in your success, right? And that's important too, because anytime we're looking into creating more breakthroughs, more wins, accomplishing more goals, we want to replicate what's been working for us, right? And that's why I had you guys write out the resources that you have, because you're always going to take the same characteristics into the mix, right? Because that's who you are, that's your personality, and those are your like strengths. But then also you want to replicate the tools that have been working for you, find other things in the new goals that you're trying to accomplish, right? And find similar resources, things that feel similar, that have like the same traits or maybe structures that have worked for you in the past. Good example, when I did this exercise with my live group, one of the women present was talking about how she was wanting to lose some more weight and get into shape. And she remembered that the last time she had done that, she had used a very specific, like, it was like a online eating plan and like workout plan thing. I don't remember exactly, but she was like, that worked for me because it gave me just enough structure that it told me what to do, but then I had the freedom to like implement it when I wanted to and when it worked for me. And so she was like, I'm realizing now that I've been struggling because I was trying to find something that didn't feel like that was like overly structured. And she's like, I need to go back and find something else that's like really similar or the same as what I was using before, because that really worked for me, right? That's why I want you guys to think about the resource side of things, because to have that belief in our resources, we need to find something that really like flows and that replicates what's really worked for us in the past, right? What's created that evidence from us in the past. Okay. So now I want you guys to think of some goals that you have that you're trying to do right now, things you're trying to accomplish, things you haven't done yet that are on the horizon for you. Okay. Whether that's business stuff or weight loss or like work or anything, right? School, whatever. I would guess to maybe write down like 3 to 5. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and do that first, and then I'll give you the next step. Okay. Do you guys have your list of goals written down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I want you to take all the stuff you wrote down before of the characteristics about you that created success, and also the format of the tools that you used, right? And I want you to think about how you can transfer those over to create success in your goals that you have going forward. How will you use the same characteristics about yourself? How will those same traits about you show up in those goals and create success for you? And how can you find tools and resources that are similar in the ones that have worked for you to create more success and support you along the way?
Okay.
So just kind of riff with that for a second. And it's really, I love that you guys are writing these down. I have that very intentional because writing helps your brain to process things a lot more intentionally and think through them farther than you do if you just talk. Sometimes we get sloppy when we talk. I really want to like point out that the reason out of all the things that I pulled through into this exercise, the reason that the 2 things I pulled through is your self-belief and your belief to be able to find the right resources is because one of the beliefs that I practice the most about myself is I am resourceful. And that is so key to self-belief, because the thing is, we're never going to have all the answers to anything we're stepping into. We're never going to have it all figured out before we go, right? And that is so important, to be able to jump into things and being able to take some risk jumping into things. And the bigger the goals we have, the more risk there is, right? One of the most important beliefs that we can have doing that is I am resourceful. Like, I'm going to find what I need. I'm going to find the pieces of the puzzle to plug in to create my success. I practice that so often, right? Like, I don't know. I'm going to say I'm going to do this and I'm going to figure it out as I go, right? Because the truth is you always do. And the reason I wanted you to do this exercise is I wanted you to see that you have been doing that. You are resourceful. Every single resource you just listed to create all of your success has been born out of your resourcefulness. So that is both a trait you have that can grow your belief in yourself. And then also now we've built evidence to show you that. And then we've also given you a formula to go find more resources that really work well for you. Yeah. Right? That makes sense?
Yeah.
Tell me what you guys wrote. Give me, if you don't mind sharing, give me one of your goals that you wrote and like how you know from your beliefs and your resources that you can make that happen.
Okay, well, I'll start again. My one of my goals is to figure out how to invest money. Now, okay. This is something I know literally zero about. It's not my personality to have all my ducks in a row and be like some, investor person. And so I don't
Tell me, what characteristics about you did you list that have created success for you in the past that are going to help you with this?
Well, one of them is that first of all, I believe I can do it, that I'm not going to give up. Remembering that God has my back, which I always feel like he'll help me. But I mean, you have to put in the work, right? Mm-hmm. But he can still, kind of guide my path into, and I feel like that I'm really resourceful and I know how to I think from the past, for me, I would always like want to give up because it wasn't happening as fast as I wanted to happen. Mm-hmm. And I've really learned through the years that it's just like continually prodding, or digging your heels in and keep on going and keep on searching. And it will happen.
Yeah. So your determination, right? Your patience and your determination have really helped you to create success.
And to not be hard on myself that I don't know this stuff.
Oh, that's so good. Oh my gosh. I haven't mentioned that, but yes, like having lots of grace and kindness with yourself in the process is so important, because anytime we get really hard on ourselves and we start, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't, you messed up, you wasted all this time, blah, blah, blah. We end up just literally beating ourselves down to the point where we pressure ourselves so much that we then cripple our ability to move forward, right? Being really kind and understanding with ourselves. Like, it's okay. You're human. You had a rough day. Let's just try again tomorrow. Right. Is so important. Karina, do you have anything you want to share? You don't feel pressured.
No, I can definitely share. I think this really ties into everything, and it is like a goal of mine because it's something that has been kind of like weighty on me, and it's getting over feeling like there isn't space for me. Like there isn't space for my business and for me to be successful. And I hadn't really had the language to know, okay, just really the feeling and the realness of I want to be very much a community over competition. But then I also want to make sure that I have enough and I'm taken care of and that I'm getting what I need. And what I'm seeing here is that can tie into belief. And so using my resources and characteristics of going out and finding that and belief in myself and I can be organized in this way and can coordinate is okay, I've connected with you and there's this resource where I can be well, that's a place of doubt and that's a place where perhaps I'm not believing in myself fully to say there is a space for me and trusting and really being assured that that is a thing.
Absolutely. So one thing you can really do for yourself, I'm assuming that you mean space in your industry.
Yeah. Just in the Tulsa market, that, it's not becoming too, it's not too saturated that I can be a thriving balloon business and have my clientele, where it's there is people out there, Tulsa is not too small for that, because it's also is my location, the thoughts are, is Tulsa have too many people now where
so let me ask you this. What has brought you, how have you found the client? Because this is a really common fear that I hear a lot of people say. A lot of us, when we start businesses, our brains will create ways to justify our fears, right? And that's a common one, is the industry is too saturated, right? Here's the thing though, is how have you created the clients or customers that you've had so far? How did you find them? How they find you?
They found me through referrals. They found me through seeing an installation in person that I've done, which is still kind of like a referral, but a different type. So I would say that's the main thing. And then also through online. I think just through Google.
So what are the things that people consistently say about you and your work?
They say that I'm pretty easy to work with and that they would like to hire me again.
Do they, and I'm assuming they also love your work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So here's the thing is there's really no such thing as too saturated of a market for anyone, because it's who you are uniquely that's always going to create the right clients and customers to come to you, right? And the reason that people are going to choose you over other businesses is number one, they love your work, but number two, they're going to love you and they're going to want to work with you. Right. And that's truly coming back to me as a coach. There's a lot of coaches out there. There's a lot of great coaches out there right now. But the thing is that the reason that people are going to choose to work with me is because they love me, the things that I have overcome and broken through and the messages that I have help them and speak to them. And I have the answers for them, right? I have tools that are going to work for them. And they resonate with me. They jive with me, right? And that's the thing about you and any business, people are going to choose to work with you because of who you are, because of your belief in yourself, because of how you show up in those situations and how you deliver and how you serve your clients and customers, right? It doesn't matter how many balloon businesses are out there. You will always have success if you believe in it. If you just show up, the right people are going to come to you and choose to work with you because they just jive with you. They're like, I like Karina. I want to work with her. She is easy to work with, right? Yeah. And so what you do is you find ways to make it even easier to work with you. The things that people are saying about you are the things you zero in on and just keep like you deliver on that even more. If that's the thing people say, then that means people are looking for somebody who's easy to work with. They're in the middle of planning a party or an event. It's insanity. You know how that is. Events are crazy. The bigger the event, like the more you feel like you need a vacation after it's over, right? So like you being easy to work with is like one of the most valuable things you can have. So find ways to be easier to work with. More automated systems. Less like needing less communication back and forth, and you just like show up and deliver whatever they need, right? Maybe they give you pre-made like Pinterest pages where you just run with it. You don't even ask them questions, right? Like super easy stuff. Find more ways to do that, right? Again, believe in yourself and who you are and how you show up, that they're going to love you and connect with you and just choose you because of that too, right? You take all the things. So that's why I'm saying, like, what are the characteristics about you that have given you success? Because that's going to keep being the thing that gives you success, right? So find ways to capitalize on that.
Okay.
Right. And then any kind of resources that you've used in the past, like, are there any tools that you have used to make it easy to work with you so far?
Yeah, just our system that we use with clients. We use HoneyBook. So
there you go. Right. So then that's a resource that you leaned on to create that ease. So could you use it more? Maybe you just use that system. Maybe there are more like tools within the system that you start using, right? Maybe there are other automated systems that you can use, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the biggest thing to look at too is like, if you have done all that and created the customers and clients that you have now, and people keep coming back, trusting that that's going to keep happening, right? Mm-hmm. Taking credit for the fact that you created every single one of those clients. You showed up. You did the work. You showed up and believe in yourself. You showed up being yourself, right? And people loved that. And trusting that that's going to keep replicating itself. Do you guys feel like you have a little more clarity on belief in yourself and you have a little more self-belief after talking through this? And this is something I want you to really remember, these questions that I took you through. Anytime that you're doubting yourself, anytime you're feeling that like doubt creep up in anything that you're jumping into, come back to these questions of what is it about me that's going to create my success? And what parts of me can I lean on, right? And you can, like we did with Karina, you can listen to what other people are saying to you, the feedback you're getting to find that sometimes, right? Lacey, with you, like looking at your resourcefulness and like the things that you dig into, like your ability to research and really follow your instincts to find the tools that you need. You can use that. That's something that you use all the time, a characteristic about you that creates your success, right? But then think about, okay, what resources do I have? What resources can I find that I might need that are very similar to ones I've had success with, right? Who do I want to partner with in the success journey?
Yeah.
Right. Because you can always just keep that belief growing and keep creating results for yourself that way, right? Always fall back on these questions and lead yourself through them. Another thing I wanted to say, I've given you guys some really good beliefs to practice. What anything is possible. All things work out for my good. I have my own back, right? And then any of yourself here. I am resourceful. I am easy to work with. I am whatever you guys came up with individually. Take those if you really want to keep building belief and practice them every day. And what that means is I like to close my eyes because it's easier for me to like get into my feelings and not be distracted. But I like to close my eyes and you just literally think about that thought and think about the truth of it. Think about the evidence that proves that thought true until you literally feel the belief in your body. Like you will feel it like rise up from like your soul or your gut or whatever. Like you'll feel it in your heart. And the second you feel it, you've created the belief, right? And then you move on to the next one. So you can sit there and just think about anything is possible. Like really true. Like here's the reason why. Here's crazy things that have happened in the world. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could think about people that have accomplished crazy goals that never seemed possible for them, right? Like use those as evidence. You can use other people's wins as evidence, right? And then like really just sit on that thought till you feel it and then move on to the next one. You can do that with any belief you want. That's how you practice a belief. People, it's really, that's where people miss. They think that like affirmations, like just listening to affirmations is going to get them where they want to be. You can't just listen. You have to feel, because thoughts create feelings, and then feelings create actions, and actions create results. Right?
Okay.
So last thing I wanted to talk about, and again, this is for you guys or anyone listening to the recording. If anybody's interested in working with me more, okay, especially in the style that we did today, I have my new group coaching program that is starting up in June, mid-June because of my vacation. Every month after that, it'll be the beginning of the month. But we're going to be doing, it's going to be incredible. I literally scoured my client files of all of my one-on-one clients, and I identified like the most powerful, transformative coaching topics that we do together. Like the things that it's just, I feel like is vital, that create insane self-belief, that create confidence, that create self-value, that help people really like take action on their goals, that really help people in like a bunch of different areas of life. Like anything from business building to like dating, to relationships, having better relationships, to being able to feel more love, to have self-love, to have more self-belief, just like be less triggered and more emotionally level. Like it will impact every area of your life, because that's how I do my coaching. Like every topic we do touches every part of your life. So I scoured my client files. I picked out the most like powerful beliefs that impact every area of life, even like finances and money beliefs and stuff like that. And I created a program where it's going to be 12 months of my 12 most powerful coaching topics. And we're going to do them in live coaching sessions every month. So one live coaching call a month. So it'll be very similar format to this. And then I created amazing like video modules and worksheets and tools, like different resources, like questions, like I gave you guys today, that you can like self-coach and lead yourself into more belief and get yourself past blocks that you're having. And some of it is even very practical tools. Like I'm going to go through like time management and scheduling, and it's going to have it's not going to be your typical topic on that, where it's going to be a little more of I'll do the practical stuff, but then I'm also going to take you through like coaching topics around that. So we're digging a little deeper than just here's how you do your calendar, right? So I'm going to do really practical stuff like that too. But it's literally going to be like 12 months of like transforming your life, like transforming your mind, how you think, how you see yourself, how you show up in every situation in your life. And then the practical tools of how to like almost Marie Kondo or like revamp your life. So that when you walk out of that 12 months, like you're in a completely different space. You're fast forwarded to where you want to be in your life, and you're making huge progress on different goals and things that you have, whether that's in your business or in weight loss or in relationships or in any area, right? So super powerful. And that, so I really designed this group because I wanted there to be something for people who maybe weren't able to do one-to-one coaching yet, who weren't ready for it, maybe emotionally or in their time and schedule, or who just wanted something that was like a very supportive group atmosphere. You guys can see from today, this was super fun, like having a supportive group atmosphere. It really gives you a different benefit. When everybody's jumping in, we're able to kind of jump off of everyone's examples and get more out of it, because I'm able to sort of elaborate on things and like dig into certain things that come up for everybody, right? So it's going to have that. It's going to be a very supportive environment because of that too. And then we're also going to have a Facebook group that is for support for everybody. Like all my clients, it'll be clients only Facebook group where we can jump in and be like, hey guys, I'm working on this, but I'm stuck here, or I need some help here. And we can jump in and help each other. So I made this group to be like freaking like affordable and doable for everybody. It's only $150 a month for 12 months. So I literally just made it to be like a no-brainer if you want to jump into coaching and get some insane growth and healing and like all of the above. It's just sort of a like easy thing to jump into. So $150 a month. Today is the last day that if you sign up today, you get a free one-to-one coaching call with me. So today's the last day for that. And then also I have my one-to-one coaching, which is like super powerful if you want to jump into and like really zone in on one, like certain areas of your life where you want to dig really deep and have help like digging into those things and having very tailored coaching, where I'm going to be doing some very specific coaching with you, identifying topics that are coming up for you specifically, identifying thoughts that are getting in your way specifically, and then helping you to work through those things with my models, but then with also very tailored coaching. So if you want that one-on-one attention, one-on-one time, like you get to control the schedule and, you get a say in when you show up for coaching calls, that kind of stuff. That's awesome for my one-to-one coaching. So if you guys are interested, reach out to me, send me a message. You know how to get a hold of me and we can talk more. I can give you more details or answer questions. Do you guys have any questions before we get off?
No, but this was really helpful.
Good.
Yeah.
Agree.
We work together all the time, but it was really helpful to me.
Right. That's what I was saying is these, I made these to work really well in tandem to coaching, whether that's in the group coaching or the one-to-one, because it's very different styles. Right. So this will be awesome, like supplementary coaching. And I'm going to have stuff like this every time, like keep showing up every week. I'm going to be doing them. Karina, you didn't know this before because I don't think we knew each other then, but I'm doing them in person and then also online for like people that can't show up for the in-persons. So, and it'll be the same topic, like there's 2 per month, 1 in person, 1 online, but it'll be the same topic both times. And I'm going to always be having like lots of like coaching prompts and help and just all kinds of stuff you can take home and really use. So yeah.
Okay.
Tell your friends.
Thank
All right,
you
guys.
so much.
Thank you for coming. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.